Thanks, man. Oh, yes. You're the man. Cool guy. That's awesome. I should get a toast. That's awesome.
Okay. Ugh. What's up? Okay. I finished early. I know it said a 1 hour productivity session, but I was so focused that I actually got everything done way ahead of schedule. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? My time is best used just driving back home. One sec. Let me just disable this Wi-Fi. Can you guys hear me all right? Yo. Do you take nootropics? I thought he farted too. Yep, yes, yep. Okay, everyone can hear me fine. You might not be able to hear me once my car is going. One sec. Okay. Let me just... Okay, so about cognitive dissonance. I wrote a comment on video about resolving being gay with the religion I was brought up with. Is that cognitive dissonance, and what can I do about it? That's a tough question right off the bat. Cognitive dissonance. Well, cognitive dissonance is something I don't know like too much about, but it's basically just holding one or more like beliefs in your head that contradict each other, right? So if your religion is telling you, wait, if you're like, oh, I'm gay, and your religion is telling you that it's bad to be gay, but then you're also subscribing to the religion still, then that is, by definition, cognitive dissonance. So either your views, your beliefs need to change on one or two of those things. So that's all that cognitive dissonance is. Bad audio. Fix your mic. Can't hear you. What's going on? Bad audio. Bad audio. Bad audio. No. Okay, what about now? Is this better? Is this better now? Fix audio. Your audio is so muffled. Better, yay, better. Okay, I think I fixed it. It connected to the stupid Bluetooth device in my car. Very silent. Okay, so actually, you know what? It's a bad idea to like start driving and answer these questions because I'm gonna crash and die, or I'm gonna hit somebody on the road.
Okay, fix the audio. Sweet. Callan Mitchell sent me $5. Thank you very much. He says, love your content. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Callan. I don't know if I'm saying your name properly. Okay, good. Yay, awesome. Timothy Gallagher. Any questions, guys? I'm here to answer your questions. What time is it where you guys are all, where you're living? Can we stop by the grocery store? Can we do this more often? Yes. Okay, guys, so I actually went and bought a, what do you call it? An Elgato. I said that so weird. Most people say Elgato. An Elgato, not a Stream Deck, but like a capture card. I think it's like the HD60S or whatever. So now I can plug my good camera, like my DSLR, into my computer so that when we do, when I do a live stream, it's not like this crappy phone quality. It's like an actual camera, and I can have my lighting and I can have my good mic. So in future live streams, I might even do one tonight just to test. I really do need to put out a new video though, so maybe that's gonna be my priority. But very soon, the next time I do a live stream, rather than just being like a coffee shop study session on my phone, it's gonna be something that's like, you know, high quality, and I can just sit there and be fully focused on answering your questions, and it'll be a fun time. The podcast, which I am definitely going to do, it's not like in the works right now. I'm trying to find a good co-host, or if I even need a co-host, or if I just do the Matt Diavella thing, do it all myself, but just interview interesting people. That's going to be coming soon, not like immediately soon, but it's something that I'm working on, and I'm seeing more and more people do it, and I just think that a Better Ideas podcast would be absolutely dope. So I'm just going to try to answer a couple more of these questions. Elgato, okay. Midnight, 6 p.m., 6 p.m., 20 p.m., 23, 1 a.m., 8 p.m. Man, there's a ton of different times people are watching this. Okay, Thule Contio sent me, is that, oh my goodness, thank you. Generous donation from Thule. She said, what is one thing you're trying to master right now? That's a very good question. The one thing I'm trying to master right now, it may seem very obvious, but it's just YouTube. You know, I feel like I have a finger on the pulse of how the algorithm works, and what is getting my videos views. So my videos are like starting to do really well. They're starting to get lots of views. Channel's growing because of that. And because of that fact, I can leverage, you know, the revenue and opportunities that's bringing me to like reinvest that into making higher quality content. So right now it's still sort of the algorithm, but filmmaking in general, I would say, is the one thing I'm always trying to master. Just like cinematography, making my videos look as good as possible. I'm trying to educate myself on just different lighting, different cameras, color grading, all that kind of stuff. So I would say cinematography is probably always a focus that I'm trying to master, and I think that'll be like a continuous focus for me for the rest of my life. Okay, so man, it's so hard on the phone to like scroll all the way back up. I'm Spanish and you pronounce it perfectly. Awesome. What is Elgato? It's a capture card. Nice. Do you have a preferred note-taking method? Yes. It's scientifically proven that taking notes with your hand, using a pen on paper, or an iPad, I guess, because they have those Good Notes app or whatever, that your memory retention, that's not a term. Yeah, your retention of whatever you're learning is higher when you take physical notes. And I don't know why that is or what the science behind it is. All I know is the science says you remember stuff better if you take physical notes with your hand. Okay, going back to the comments. Why can't I see? Where did the comments go? Oh, there you go. There it is. Next question. I'm probably not going to get these in order, guys. I'm sorry. Doing this on the phone is ridiculous. Question, will you be making a newsletter? Yes, I actually have a link to a newsletter I haven't done anything with, and that's because I want to... I'm sort of like a digital minimalist in the sense that I want to have a very specific message and purpose for every platform that I'm on. So before I just start cranking out a newsletter with no plan or no rhythm or no kind of discipline with, you know, what day I'm going to be cranking out, what kind of stuff I'm going to be saying, then I typically don't do it. But I'm starting to think in my head, maybe that's a little bit of like a perfectionistic mindset. So I'm just trying to I'm really close to just cranking out a newsletter, but I want to make sure it's adding value to your guys' life, and it's not just one of those 10,000 newsletters that I'm subscribed to where it sounds like a third grader wrote it. I want it to actually be good writing. So I'm just trying to find the time to do that and make it good writing. Okay. What else do we got going on? Most authentic YouTuber in this category. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Are you afraid about... Okay, David Perez says, are you afraid about people start comparing you with Matt D'Avella? You know what? It happens. This always happens in the space. You know, when I first started, I was compared to Thomas Frank a lot, even though whenever I'm compared to somebody, I usually discover these channels by you guys comparing me to those people. So it's not like I watch their video and I'm like, they're being successful, I'm going to, you know, start making videos exactly like them. I think there's only like a handful of ways you can really make videos, so it's sort of inevitable in this space that we start overlapping or our styles are similar or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I really don't care that you're comparing me to Matt D'Avella. It's honestly flattering because he's awesome. But yeah, it's just something that happens. And comments. Buppity buppity bup. My goodness. Here we go. Barry says, how to not get stuck in social media for hours. I find myself wasting so much time and it's sucking my productivity down the drain. This sounds like the most basic tip that I can give, but you're told as a kid, or like the way most people are raised, is if something's bad for you, you remove it. You know, it's like a restriction-based thing. They take away the Xbox if you're spending too much time on it. I feel like it's the most obvious but most effective way to get rid of social media or spend less time on it is to literally restrict yourself, or at least, you know, if you turn off push notifications, or if you put your phone in a different room in the morning. I know like so many YouTubers say this, but it is literally the most powerful way to stop doing something, because it's all habits, right? You're conditioned to check social media. You have like this itch in your pocket. You always got to check it. Remove the possibility of checking it. Delete the social media apps. Put your phone in a different room when you go to sleep so that in the morning you're woken up by a physical alarm clock instead of your phone. You know, by adding restrictions, they're not really restricting you, they're kind of freeing you, because you're a slave to your patterns that you've created for yourself of compulsive social media use. So actually be the parent again in your own life and parent your social media use. Parent your technology. It sounds like restriction is sort of a thing where, like, if you restrict long enough, you're going to lash out, and you know, all this pent up pressure of your restriction, you're going to like binge it. Not really, and especially when it comes to social media, that hasn't been my experience. If I remove the temptation, I usually just focus on something else instead. So that's what I would say. What else do we got? Man, oh man, you guys are asking so many good questions that it's so it's so hard to, like, with my phone, every time I answer a question, I have to re-scroll all the way up to where I was before. Trying to master YouTube. How do you keep yourself open? Okay, Box of Chocolates says, how do you keep yourself open to opportunities or create opportunities for yourself? How do you keep yourself open to opportunities or create opportunities for yourself? I feel like the best thing you can do to to keep yourself open to opportunities, as defined by your question, is to have sort of, so I used to be somebody who my default, I would consult how I felt about something by just how, like, how inclined I was to do it in the moment, and I was listening to resistance a lot. So if someone would be like, hey Joey, do you want to come to the gym with me? The first method of action wasn't to consult my more logical, reasonable side of my brain that says, yes, it's a good idea to go to the gym, just do it. Instead, I consulted my resistance, my emotional side of my brain, and I'm like, it seemed kind of hard, so I just didn't do it. But when I realized, when I like wrote down what I wanted in life and wrote down sort of some goals that I was trying to hit, or at least the direction that I wanted to go, then my response to opportunities, my response to people asking me to go things, it was all, I referred to my goals. I referred to what my direction that I wanted to go. And if I want to be someone who's healthy, then if someone says, do you want to go to the gym with me? The answer is yes. I don't consult that part of my brain that gets a say in whether I feel it or not, or feel like it or not. You know, it's sort of just a logical, like, the answer is yes. Same thing with when I wanted to create financial independence for myself and I didn't want to work a 9-to-5 job anymore. And I knew I had at least some talent for making videos, and I was starting to go into freelance videography. Since it was such a conviction of mine that I want to be financially independent, then when someone offered me an opportunity to film something for them, the answer is yes. I don't need to think about whether I know how to do the specific thing or not, or get into my head about whether I'm really qualified. It's just like, the opportunity's there, the answer is yes. I want to create financial independence for myself. Here's an opportunity. Yes, I can do it. Say yes, figure it out later. And that propelled me into just saying yes to every single thing that came my way as a filmmaker. Obviously, you have to be smart about it. If something is just like a crappy deal for you, then don't accept it. But, you know, if you have a default yes in the early stages and you just take everything that comes your way and you're just like, yep, I can do it, I'll figure it out later, yeah, don't worry about it, I got this, that opens up so many doors, because then you start to become a yes man. As soon as you say like, no, if you tell somebody, like a small business owner, that you can't make them a video because this and this reason or whatever, or maybe if we wait a little bit longer, they're not hearing any of those reasons. All they're hearing is somebody who's not reliable, somebody who is basically saying, no, I'm not going to do it. And then they're going to find someone else, and then that door is shut. But when you say yes, you do a video for them, chances are they're going to like it. And then chances are when somebody comes to them being like, hey, who did your video? They say, Joey did my video. And then the whole referral thing started. I was able to go full-time freelance videography without even having a website. I didn't market myself at all. I didn't make a single landing page, yet I was able to make a full-time income doing freelance video because of referrals, because of people being like, oh, who did your video? Oh, it's this guy named Joey, here's his email. You know, a proposal came into my inbox, and I just hit people up. I was like people's dirty little secret. And yeah, it's just being a yes man goes a long way. Okay. Now I need to scroll up for a million years to get a different question. What to do? Okay, Susanna Robinson says, what to do when you don't feel connected to other people / struggle to make friends, etc. A couple things. It totally depends on your personality, but your personality can change. My personality definitely did. I was definitely a huge recluse back in kind of the high school era of my life. And I had like 2 friends, and you know, I don't know, now I don't talk to them. But in university, I knew I didn't really want to live in that kind of life anymore. And I knew that going to university in my first year was sort of a chance for me to reinvent myself socially. And it sounds really, I don't know, obvious, I guess, but forcing yourself, if you know what you want to do, if you know the kind of person you want to be, and you have this idea of like your standards, like where you eventually want to be in your life, then you can start to make a game plan. If you write down you want to be more social, then you can start kind of chunking that into what that looks like on a micro level. So if the macro level is I want to be more social, then you can start to create an action plan when you write that down on the micro level, and say, when someone asks me to go out, I say yes. You know, if someone says, hey, we're gonna go grab sushi, are you gonna say yes, or are you gonna be like, you know, I have this essay I have to write, and it's kind of eating away at me, and I really should get it done? Or are you gonna be default yes? You know? And I'm not saying that going out and being social is more important than grinding and doing an essay. I'm saying if you were focused on doing the essay, and if you're living in a very intentional life, you're gonna be focused enough to have that essay done to begin with. And when by that way, when somebody's like, hey, do you want to go grab sushi, you can afford to be default yes. So everything's sort of interconnected in a way. Like if you're focused enough to get your work done early so that your day is cleared up, then you have more opportunity for the things that you actually want to improve in your life, like being more social. But anyways, in terms of connecting with people, I think that just comes naturally. That comes from forcing yourself outside of your comfort zone, exposure therapy, and yeah, I'm a big believer in exposure therapy. That's how I really transformed me, being like, someone would be like, hey Joey, how's it going? And I'd be like, and I wouldn't understand the question, and I would get confused between like, how are you and what's up all the time, and I wouldn't know. It would be like, right off the get-go, you'd stump me in a social interaction. It'd be like, what's up? I'm like, oh, I'm good. How are you? And then I'd be like, damn it. But anyways, exposure therapy, being around people all the time, forcing yourself to be more social, you eventually, you break past that. People say the same thing with dating. Like if you never go on dates, obviously the first time you go on a date after a really long period of time is going to be terrifying. But if you go on dates all the time, naturally it's just going to be something you get used to. It's sort of the hard truth. There's no dirty secret to becoming better in social situations other than exposing yourself to it often and trying to improve every time. Oh yeah, and then so M. Nelson said most people won't judge you for that. I don't know if he's talking about what I was talking about, but you're totally right if you're referring to saying, I'm good, how are you, when someone said, what's up? You know, that's such a human mistake. You can laugh about it instantly, and it can make you more relatable. You can leverage dumb social faux pas like that so easily once you're comfortable exposing yourself to social situations. It happens to me all the time. I am like one of the most I say things in social situations that don't really fit in the social situation often, but I'm able to catch it and laugh about it, and then they laugh about it, and it's almost better that I make the mistakes because it makes me more human, I guess. So yeah, just say what's on your mind, fire from the hip, laugh about it, and move on. It's just, yeah. Holy, it's cold in this car. Okay. I'm going to, let's see, bup. Goal Guys says, let's grab sushi sometime. Absolutely. You're in Vancouver. I'm in Surrey right now. That's where I'm living. But yes, I love your channel. Let's grab sushi sometime. Let's see, bup. I don't know why I'm saying bup. Dude, B. Mozart, the pianist, says, dude, I never joined live streams, but you I had to join. I really appreciate your content, man. Even the videos of where you started off. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Okay. Julian Girth says, what do you think of... Oh, no, oh, there we go. What do you think of alternative sleep cycles, like sleeping a few hours multiple times a day instead of 8 hours at night, like Einstein? Thanks. I love your content. Yeah, I've looked. I haven't done it yet. I'm kind of scared to do it. But I know eventually I will end up doing it as an experiment and I'll make a video about it. But I've looked into like polyphasic sleep, where you sleep like 2 hours in the night and then you have like 3 20-minute naps. And supposedly the theory is, when your body, like if you only have 2 hours of sleep, then when you take the 20-minute naps, your body requires so much sleep that it'll automatically kick you into a deep REM every single nap. And the only reason why people sleep 8 hours is because you have a certain amount of deep REM cycles that will actually rejuvenate you and make you feel like you had a good night's sleep. But yeah, if you only have 2 hours of sleep, then every time you take a 20-minute nap, you automatically get kicked into deep REM, which means you actually have more deep REM cycles in those 20-minute naps than you would in a whole 8 hours of sleep. So it's technically like more restorative or something like that. Crazy theory. There's not enough research done on it. There's research done where it shows that people who do that, like 2 hours and then like 3 20-minute naps, their brain function is just as high as people who take 8 hours and sometimes even more. And then it just gives you more time throughout the day to work on stuff. But the part where the research is lacking is on lifespan and like how these people pan out later on in life. Like, are they going to age super quick? Are they going to get Alzheimer's later because they didn't get enough 8-hour sleep periods or something? There's just not enough research there where I could personally recommend it long term. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try it, but yeah, that's just where I'm on with it. Okay. Epstein didn't kill himself. Yeah. Damn right. Okay, where we go. Can you please say woo-woo crap? Absolutely, Pierce. Oh no, I can't say your last name, but I know it's Polish. I struggle with that. Okay. Zachary Lade Finding Freedom says, sup bro. Sup Nero, actually. He's one of the guys that is always in every comment section of every video I ever watch. Regan Kistler says, some days I do that really bad, and some days I speak to others super smooth. It's weird, lol. Yeah, this is good. I honestly am of the impression, maybe it's just the way I've learned to play to my strengths, but almost every single time when I make a social mishap or I say something dumb in a social context, it's beneficial to the social situation. Like, it's immediately painful, not like actually painful, or it's like immediately a little bit awkward. But as soon as you draw attention to the fact that was a little bit awkward and you laugh about it, it puts people at ease because they know that they can now make mistakes and it's all going to be good. So you just automatically create this environment where people are allowed to just make social mistakes and it's all good. I'm sorry for laughing at this. Mohammed Ahmed says, whenever I laugh super hard, I always feel super sad after. What is that? I'm laughing because that's so sad. And that's so... I've never heard of that before, dude. I'm sorry for laughing, but when you laugh super hard, I always feel super sad after. Maybe it's a contrast thing. That's like, maybe... Yeah, I don't know. I've honestly never heard of that, so I don't know how to... Maybe you're like reflecting on the fact that the laughter is over now and you're back to normality, and that's your baseline of normality is not where it should be or something. That's a completely made up answer for me. I actually don't know why that is. Yeah. I hope you figure that out, man, because laughing should be something that's like inconsequential and something that makes you happier or like raises your baseline of fulfillment. Okay. Sometimes you don't like... I am Red Herring says, I solely rely on self-deprecating humor. Honestly, I self-deprecate probably more than I should. But it's kind of fun to self-deprecate because it's almost a little bit of a strength because you can point out your flaws before someone else gets a chance to. But the key is moderation. As soon as you start, I know a couple people who self-deprecate so often, it's genuinely awkward. You're like, bro, like, think better of yourself, dude. Stop. Okay. Sometime. Key HZ says, hi, how do you feel about being bald? It's actually feels so much better than having hair and a receding hairline. I kind of bit the bullet before it got like too bad, but it's definitely, if you watch my earlier videos, like you can definitely tell I don't have much hair there. But I wasn't at the point where most people shave their head yet. But I kind of like beat it to the punch. I'm like, I'm gonna shave my head before the point where people are like, oh bro, you should have shaved your head a long time ago. Like before like the crown started to go. Like I still had quite a bit of hair on the crown. But even right now you can kind of see like I have hair here. So like if I was to grow it out again, I would have something there. But like it's not enough where it looks better to have hair than to shave it. So I just prefer going with the shaved head look. It's cleaner, it's easier to deal with. And yeah, I don't know. I feel good about shaving my head. It was a good call right off the bat. Okay. Let's see. What else is going on? Show us your baldness, sexy. I just did. He's kind of jumping around the comments. Damn right I am, dude. If like you're in my position right now, I almost want to take a screencast of how like crazy it is to try to scroll up with my finger on the YouTube app. Man. I'm your fan, bruh. What's the meaning of life? Says Wolf Shanzi. Dude, if I knew, I would tell you. Not healthy to laugh very hard. How old are you? I'm 23. How to fall in love with the right person who values you. Semikan Doken. Yeah, this falls into the dating advice category. How to fall in love with the right person who values you. I would say the best thing in that regard is when you're dating somebody, like viewing dating as almost like an interview process and you're the employer. You know, it sounds ruthless, but like that's really what it should be. Like dating shouldn't be, in my opinion, something where like you're trying to convince yourself to fall in love with somebody, because that can happen with pretty much anybody. But if you know what your values are and what's important to you, then the first couple of dates is almost like an investigation in that person. It's an investigation in compatibility. And if you have some giant red flags, you know, you're still early enough on in the relationship where you can cut it off and there's like no emotional repercussions. So like that's what I believe the first couple of dates should be, is like kind of feeling the other person, kind of just figuring out where you lie on certain issues, and don't try to force it. If like a red flag comes up, you know, she's you know, you're Christian and she's Wiccan or something. That's just like, why would you try, and she's like really hot or something, like why would you try to force yourself to fall? Like you will, you know, human beings are weird. You know, we have this innate need to want to reproduce. So obviously you can convince yourself to fall in love with anybody, but it's about having that judgment and that rationality and using that to your advantage in the first couple of dates. I think that's key. Okay. Victor Kandalov says, you are 23. Don't give advices about love. It may be the case. You know nothing. It may totally be the case, but this is my channel. I do what I want. Okay, very mature. Fall in love with your values first and find that. Represent. Thought you were 27 minimum. Yeah, it's very common that people think I'm like 38 years old. No, not that old, but... Okay. David Perez says, you are as old as Nathaniel Drew. Is that a pattern? Maybe. He's a cool dude. I feel like we would have collaborated by now if he lived closer. Okay. Let's see. You're 23. Man, wise beyond your years. Yeah, so Maya Singer says, dating is an investigation in compatibility. Is romance dead? Yeah, so maybe I have a warped view on this, but like romance is not dead, that's for sure. I'm not of the philosophy that dating or anything should be like strictly logical. Obviously enjoy the other person, but I'm saying the first couple of dates, absolutely it's an investigation in compatibility. Like why else would you try to convince yourself to fall in love with somebody who is completely fundamentally different than you, and it's going to cause problems later down the road? You're just setting yourself up for like pain. Later on, dates 3, 4, 5, as things are going good, there's no huge red flags, absolutely throw some emotional investment in there. But all I'm saying is like dates 1 and 2, don't get emotionally attached. You're figuring the other person out. You have no idea who they are yet. Figure out who they are before you like say, here are all my emotions. Here's my heart. Cut it open if you want. You know? You gotta protect yourself at least a little bit. Okay. Where are we going? Okay, I'm just gonna like read them up as let's see. Real nice guy. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. For the record, I gotta continue on. I'm almost accidentally live streaming right now. Let's see. Well, let's see. My goodness. It's hard to pick a good question. Come on, guys. Ask better questions. I know you have better questions. The questions I've answered so far have been pretty good, but I want to be challenged by a question. Stephen Howell says, I'm having a hard time practicing my instrument, which feels odd because I love playing it. Any advice? Yeah, so I actually have a ton of experience with this, and I don't really have too much advice. Yeah, it's interesting. I played piano. I practiced hours a day, every single day for, well, since I was like 5. So between 5 and 20, piano was my instrument. I got a scholarship for my university for performance piano, and I started my university career as a music major. So yeah, and then I switched majors into media and communications and pursued filmmaking instead. All of this to say, I didn't enjoy practicing at all. Like, I just really didn't enjoy practicing pretty much ever, unless there was a certain piano piece that I really wanted to work on and I really liked the sound of it, and you know, trying to figure it out was a nice puzzle. But looking back though, do I regret putting all that time into piano? Not for a second. You know, knowing that I can play the piano and knowing that I can look at pretty much any piece of music and sight read it is, I mean, except for I can't sight read like crazy Rachmaninoff or anything like that. But having that skill set was worth it. So it it's, I don't know, it's almost like a mental game. I wish I had that, I don't know, what would you call that? That mindset before, when I was practicing. I'm like, I hate practicing. Why am I doing piano? And then I switched majors and I didn't touch the piano for like 2 years. And now I'm playing piano quite a bit again because I'm genuinely enjoying it. And I love being a kind of person who has that skill. And it's something that fulfills me. So I'm glad my parents pushed me so hard to play the piano. So I'd say just almost view it from a different lens. Like, do you enjoy the fact that you can play the piano, or would you like strip that away? And if you enjoy being someone who is musical, who can play whatever instrument you're doing, then just see it as kind of maintaining a certain standard for yourself, maintaining a certain skill that you enjoy doing. And I'd say just, yeah, try to find fulfillment in the thing itself. Yeah, it's sort of goes back to a couple videos ago. I can't remember if it was, yeah, 2 videos ago, I think, where I said like learn to love the process. You can learn to love the process. Make it more enjoyable. You know, don't tense up so much when you think about it. Start practicing pieces that you actually want to play. And yeah, just love the fact that you're able to make music out of nothing. Like, playing an instrument is so ethereally beautiful in a way, because you're creating art out of nothing, out of silence, with just like a piece of wood if it's a violin or something. Let's see. Cal Calaman says, challenge, make more videos on serotonin and oxytocin and dopamine. Dude, I'm way ahead of you. I want to create a video that's so, I want to create a course, a paid course, but it's going to be so in depth that it's going to, like, I want it to be so impactful that, like, I don't know. I have like this huge vision, but I don't want to like talk about my goals, because then it's going to fake myself out and my brain's going to think that I'm actually doing it or something. But stay tuned. There's going to be really, really thorough psychological stuff coming out in the future. We got some super chats. Brian Bowman, thank you so much for your donation. Really, really appreciate that. I know Koga, thank you so much. If I missed any of you guys' donations, I'm truly sorry, but just know that as I was reading someone's question, I saw it come up and I was like really, really thankful. So thank you for that. What else do we got going on here? Thank you, Julian Girth, for your donation. Really appreciate it. Thule says, well, first of all, she gave a great donation. Thank you so much. And she says, will you do more productivity live streams like this in the future? Absolutely. I actually recently invested a decent amount of coin into a great live stream setup. So I might actually test that out later tonight, my time, or tomorrow, and really just test the production value. Hopefully it can blow minds. And yeah, so definitely more live streams to come. I want to make it like a regular thing, because I think this improvement channel lends itself well to just off the cuff interaction like this, answering questions. So absolutely. Motivation Theory, thank you for your donation. You said great content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Stephen Howell, thank you for your donation. Really appreciate that. Droney Hack says, what do you do if you do not have enough time to do what you would like to do? You always have enough time. Cut something out that's not important. Optimize your time. I guarantee you're wasting time on something that's not important, or something that is not essential, and if you cut it out of your life completely, you would not miss it. So remove that thing and replace it with the thing that you want to do. You always have enough time. Max Mercer says, is time an illusion? I don't want to think that hard on a, what is it, a Tuesday, Wednesday? Man, I should know what day it is. I think it's Wednesday. Seth says, do you use nootropics as of this moment? Right now, no. I'm eating healthily. I'm trying to, you know, one of the best nootropics you can eat is eggs, because eggs are like nature's multivitamin. So just like eating well, stop eating fast food, getting enough sleep, staying hydrated, that'll do more for you than like any sort of nootropics ever will. I can guarantee you that much. Like if you're even if you're taking like some hard drugs, like modafinil, that's not a hard drug, but something potent like modafinil, and you're taking like caffeine, L-theanine, L-tyrosine, whatever all these smart drugs are, and you have crap sleep, are eating terribly, you're not working out, and you're not hydrated, dude, the person who has all those like 4 baseline habits covered is going to be doing way more than you. David Perez says, how to be limitless. Dude, if I knew, I would let you know. But you can get really dang close by getting those baseline habits covered. Okay, you know what? Joseph Baker says, do you plan on uploading more school/study focused videos? I'm currently in grad school, and it's always great to see other people's study habits. Yeah, I would say so. Like, I haven't covered that topic too much. I'm not currently in university anymore, but and I was honestly like not very good at focusing on school when I was in university. I talk about procrastination and productivity a lot, but that's because I'm like the worst natural procrastinator I've ever met. So I need all these tools that keep me in line. And if left to my own devices, I'm not somebody who naturally focuses on anything. You know, I've been convinced for a long time that I have like unmedicated ADHD. You know, it's always been a challenge for me to stay focused. But even then, there have been so many helpful things that have allowed me to actually make something of myself and focus on things, and like sort of trick my brain into being productive, even though naturally I still goof off all the time. But yeah, it's sort of like when I was in university, I was still really bad at being able to focus on university. That's just because I didn't really care about the classes. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably do some videos about that, but I have some other big plans that I'm going to do in the meantime. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Guys, great questions. I'm going to wrap it up. But if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, follow me on Instagram, because I have an abysmal amount of followers for somebody in my position. I'm just kidding. If you deleted Instagram because of one of my videos, don't re-add it because of me. But what I am doing though is at 10,000 followers, I'm giving away like a bunch of Kindles, so that when I recommend a video, or sorry, when I recommend a book, you have absolutely no excuse not to read the book. So yeah, my Instagram, I mean, I don't have it linked anywhere, but just go to my channel page and follow me on Instagram. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Later today, I'm gonna try to test the live stream setup, the new one that I got. And you guys, if you're part of this live stream and you tune into that live stream, you're gonna see like a crazy quality increase. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you guys for all your questions and your awesome donations. I really, really appreciate that. You definitely paid for my coffee and more, many more coffees. You paid for about 14 coffees from Starbucks if I get fancy coffees. And yeah, your continued support is what keeps me going. And I plan on uploading more and more frequently as I figure some stuff out here on my end. It's a weird transitional time in my life, but new video, at least one video before the end of the month, perhaps 2 videos. And yeah, looking forward to many, 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 many more, as this is now what I'm doing full time. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. Go to the channel banner, go to my Instagram page, follow me up. I definitely want to make my Instagram a platform where I can, you know, do more off the cuff stuff like this. And yeah, see ya on Insta. Thanks guys, see ya.